Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. We all live a life chasing materialism. However, we sometimes forget what the purpose of our lives is. The purpose of our life is to collect good karma and to shed the bad karma which we have been carrying over lives, and also to elevate our souls spiritually so that ultimately we can meet the supreme energy and we get moksha. However, in the daily grind, we forget what the purpose of our lives is and we forget about our karma, our karmic debt. However, it will be good if we can improve our karma on a day-to-day basis and give a chance to the soul to elevate itself a little bit, maybe every day. Is that possible? The secret of elevating your karma has been given to you by the zodiac. We know that the sun changes its sign roughly every 30 days and sun represents our soul. We also know that the shortest transit of a planet is that of the moon, which changes its sign every few days. The moon goes through all the nakshatras or through the entire zodiac once a month. But is it that there is some connection between the sun's transit and the moon's transit? If moon transits every few days into another sign, can it be related to the sun's transit in any manner? Because we know that the birth nakshatra of ours is the sign that we are born in and which nakshatra of that sign we are born in. Say for example, if you are born in the Aries sign and in the first 15 degrees, for 13 degrees and 20 minutes, then we are born in the Ashwini nakshatra ruled by Ketu. And if you are born in the degrees between 13 and 26, then we are born in the Bharani nakshatra ruled by Venus. So the moon's nakshatra is very important. So the moon's transit is very important. The moon changes its nakshatra over every 1 day and a few hours, and the moon changes its sign every 2 days and few more hours, which means that the changes of the moon into different nakshatras gives us a day different moods and meanings. So we may feel a different mood in the morning, we may feel a different mood in the evening, we may feel a different mood in the afternoon. We are not in the same mood throughout the day. And that is also because the moon's transit is very, very fast. It is changing a few degrees every hour and it moves into a next nakshatra every 2 days, every 1 day or so, and it changes the sign every 2 days and a few hours. So this is to give different shades of the mood and the temperament to us, and through that how the mind will manifest, because moon is the mind, moon is also our emotions. So there are too many changes. But can it be related in some manner to the soul's transit, which is the sun's transit, which happens once a month, once every 30 days. So when you look at paper, that sun transits once in 30 days and the moon transits a sign every 2 days and a few hours, there seems to be no connection. But if you look deep down, you will find that there is a connection between the sun's transit into a sign and the moon's transit. How do we see that? If you look at where the sun is transiting next month, for example in October, so somewhere around 17th of October is when the sun will be moving into the sign of Libra. At the particular moment when sun is going to transit into Libra, within around the same time, if you check where is moon transiting, which sign the moon is transiting, you will find that the moon is also transiting into the Libra sign. So there is at least a connection for the next month onwards. Then check the sign that the sun and moon are transiting in November. So whenever sun is transiting in November, again I think it's around 16th or 17th of the month, the same time within a few hours here and there, check where the moon is transiting into. The sun will be transiting into Scorpio mid-November, and you will find that moon is also transiting into Scorpio mid-November the same day. It may transit a few hours before and after, however exact time or within a few hours of the sun's transit if you see moon's position, you will find that moon is also in the same sign starting next month. Then if you see moon's transit in December, sun's transit in December, sun will be transiting into Sagittarius, and then see where is moon transiting. You will find that within a few hours of the sun's transit, if you check moon's transit, you will also find moon in Sagittarius. Then a month after that, both will be in Capricorn. A month after that, both will be in Aquarius. A month after that, both will be in Pisces. A month after that, both will be in Aries. It will go on till the sun moves into Taurus sign and the moon moves into Gemini. The reason why after next May is when sun moves into Taurus, moon will be moving into Gemini, is because the moon transits a few more degrees compared to the sun on a monthly basis. So next month when you find that sun is in Libra, and when you check moon's position, you will find that moon is also in Libra by a few minutes ahead. But when you check when sun moves into Scorpio, the degrees will be 0 and something, because the sun has just translated into Scorpio. That time the moon's degrees will be almost 8 degrees more than the sun. So which means that the moon is slightly ahead of the sun. Now this means that it is not the moon chasing the sun. That means whichever sign sun is translating, moon is going into that sign. But it is the sun is chasing the moon, because moon seems to be a little faster. And these are also supported by the shloka, which says, wherever your mind goes, your soul goes too. Your soul, your Atma will follow your Mati. The Atma will follow the mind, the Manas. So it means that there is a strong connection between sun's transit and the moon's transit. Soul is chasing the mind. Why is the soul chasing the mind? Because the shloka says that we have been programmed in such a manner that a mind takes over and we forget the soul's journey. That is the challenge given to us, and that's what makes it more fun also, because if we didn't have the soul chasing the mind, and if it was vice versa, then it would have been very easy for the mind to be always attached to the soul's journey. Then the soul's journey would have been easy. To make it tougher for the soul's journey and for us to accumulate all the experiences which we have come to experience here, and through experiencing all these different kinds of situations, relations, through that we elevate the soul, and we also shed our karmic debt and add the good karma. And so this challenge is given to us, that the mind will be moving towards materialism, the mind will be moving towards where I get more happiness through material pursuits, and the soul's journey will be left behind. And that's why we keep coming back and back and back, life after life, because we have not shed our karmic debt, we have not attached the good karma, we have not elevated our soul spiritually. However, the opportunity is given to us. All that we need to do is consciously chase the soul's journey. Now it's easier said than done, because we also need to live the material life. Why do we need to live the material life? Because the Grihastha ashrama is one of the most important ashramas, and it is the critical to move towards moksha. If you don't move through all the ashramas, from brahmacharya, then the Grihastha ashrama, then the vanaprastha, without going through all these ashramas, we will not achieve moksha. And so to eventually achieve sannyasa, after vanaprastha and then sannyasa, and then trying to move towards moksha, the most important ashrama is the Grihastha ashrama, because it gives us variety of experiences that we need to live, by being attached to a spouse, being attached to children, being attached to siblings, being attached to a boss, being attached to parents, being attached to neighbors, being attached to our own needs, society and friends, and so on. So because of all these relations, different experiences keep coming as a challenge or as a need in front of us, and we keep doing our karma, and through all these experiences we add the learning of the soul and help the soul to go on to its onward journey. However, if the experiences are not good enough, the karma is not strong enough, and you have not shed the karmic debt to these relations and to the situations in life, then our soul doesn't elevate. But by telling you that you have a soul and the soul is transiting every month, an opportunity is given to us. How is that? The opportunity given to us is that every month when the sun transits, it is giving a rebirth to the soul, and it is saying that focus on different areas of your life basis where the sun is transiting, and when you do that, then you add the punya karma, or you add the goodness of the karma and you shed the karmic debt. This is strongly in relation to the tithis. We know that when we do certain pujas, we are given a certain mahurata and we are given a certain date and time. So when a certain date and time comes, then we do special pujas. We celebrate festivals around it. Whether you look at Christmas or whether you look at Muslims celebrating Eid or the 5 prayers that the Muslims do during the day, there are certain time period when you do the prayer and it gives you the best goodness. Same thing with puja, same thing with yagna, same thing with all the mahurata in life. We look at a specific date and time and we pray to that deity and we get more punya out of it. That's why more punya it comes when you go to the temple or the church or the mosque and do our prayers rather than when we are at home. Prayers at home will also get you goodness, but the goodness will be higher when we go to the Lord and we pray in the temple, for example. So there is a higher meaning also when the soul is translating, that means sun is translating into a certain sign. Whichever sign is related to which house in your horoscope, it is an opportunity to contribute or do something in relation to that house. And that's why the higher punya or the better karma or the manifold karma is given to you when you do something in the direction of where the soul is transiting, where the soul is making its journey. Say if sun is placed in the Libra sign, which is going to happen next October, coming October, then which house is Libra? If Libra is the first house, then you need to do some karma related to the first house. What is the first house? First house is reputation, standing in society. So it means that you shed your humility, your arrogance, and you be more humble. But how does it help others? It helps others to be able to deal with you and also to work with you. It makes their task easy. Secondly, also help in elevating somebody else's reputation in society. How do you do that? Whenever we deal with anybody, sometimes the reference to somebody else may also come up. For example, if you're talking to your boss, the reference to a colleague may come up about a project or about any action or about your team. Then you may give a proper feedback about the colleague, but always add one good thing that you find about the person and raise the person's status. Do it genuinely. Don't try and find something, and just to fulfill the karma. Then it will not give you good fruit. Find something genuinely good about the person, and when you're giving feedback about the person or describing the person in reference to the work, say something about the person's personality and try and lift the person's personality, maybe a shade more. And genuinely in front of the boss. If you're talking to your spouse about a colleague at work, say what you feel. There is, you had a fight or whatever, but you also say something genuinely good in the person that you find if the sun is transiting through your first house. If the sun is transiting through your second house, which will happen the month after that, do something in the lines of being principled and valued. So in general, always hold your principles and values, but that month, continuing to be fixated on your principles and values will give you better punya because your soul is moving towards that part. Second house is also about food. Feeding more people or feeding people during that month will add more punya to the soul because the soul's journey is going to your second house. And soul is what is shedding the karma and adding the karma also. If it is the third house, then do something for the neighbor or in the neighborhood, do some social service or invite your neighbors over for a meal or share your meal with the neighbors, for example. Do something with your younger siblings. Do something for the family of the younger siblings or the children of the younger sibling. Do something for the sibling or which makes him feel good, or just give something to the younger sibling, or apologize to the sibling if you have done him wrong, or forgive your sibling if you feel you're carrying some baggage on your heart, on your mind about the younger sibling. If it's about the fourth house, help somebody have a better roof over their head, or repair some part of the house. Especially there are people who work with us or under us. There will always be somebody who lives in a not so good house. Give some money to repair or do something about the house, maybe color the house. One person I know, when I told him that the fourth house is important, he has a practice of every year during the Diwali time, which comes roughly end of October and mid-November. So it comes mostly around November, that month of the year. So every year during the Diwali period, he would give one household appliance to his maid. So one year he would give a mixer grinder, one year he would give a fan, a ceiling fan, one year he would give a pressure cooker to cook meal, one year he would give a washing machine, something like that. So he would spend a few thousands of rupees, which will not be very high when you look at it in terms of dollars. When you convert the rupees into dollars, will not be very high, but he would do that. And what he would do is, by doing that, whenever the mixer grinder is being used or the washing machine is being used, his karma, good karma is increasing, because that thing is being in use. A lot of people contribute or gift benches in gardens. Some people put water taps in the garden, so whenever, or in a park, so whenever people want to drink water and you drink water from that, anybody drinks water from that, that person who has installed that tap or the cold water tap or the bench in the park, they get good punya, they get good karma. So that is a continuous thing. So find something that you can do in the line of where the sun is moving, which house it is transiting. The other thing is also to do something where the moon is transiting, because the moon will be slightly ahead of the sun, or contribute something in the manner of, or in the direction of where the Saturn is, because Saturn is also a karmic debt. So find a variety of things that you can do, or do something in the direction of your weakest planet. Whichever is the weakest planet, do something in that direction. If Mercury is the weakest planet, then helping a child's education, because Mercury also relates to education. If it's Jupiter, contributing to the higher fees, or giving a scholarship or a part of the scholarship for somebody's higher education, higher learning. If it's Venus, then contributing or paying the fees of a girl child, for example. If it's Mars, giving instruments to a person who uses instruments to seek his livelihood, a plumber, for example, a carpenter, an electrician, giving them tools so that they can use that. So whenever they use that tool, you are adding to the good karma. So this is a continuous karma that you are adding. In Islamic terms, it is called sawab-e-jariyah. Sawab means the punya, the goodness, and jariyah means continuous. The continuous punya that you get. You can find your own ways and how you want to add good karma on a continuous basis through such activities. But surely find something that you do based on the sun's transit, because the sun's transit is critical every month. It is moving into a different sign, which is telling you where the soul's journey is, especially dependent to which house your sun is placed in and where the sun is, which house the sun is moving into every month. So find something new. Soul is telling you, I am giving you a chance to regenerate something or good karma in that area this month. If you do in that area this month, you will get many times the punya. If sun is moving into the 7th house, for example, then do something for others rather than yourself. For that month, focus everything on others and focus on relationships. Reach out to people, and an aunt or uncle who you have not met or talked to for many months or years, call them over, or just take an appointment from them and land at their house after preparing a meal and going there, taking care of them, taking a gift with them, sitting down if somebody is old in the family, visiting the person who is sick, especially if it's the 6th house, sponsoring a poor person's medicine. So there are various ways in which you can help about each house where the sun is transiting, and that will give you manifold of karma that particular month. So in general, you can add continuous karma by sponsoring a bench in a park, which is a continuous all the life. As long as the bench is there, you will be getting good karma from it. Putting a water tap or a water cooler in a park where somebody is jogging and they're thirsty and they want to drink water is another continuous thing. But where the sun is transiting into, that gives you an opportunity to manifold increase your karma, and through that achieving much higher karma and shedding your karmic debt. So don't let go of this opportunity. So look into your own horoscopes, check where the sun is transiting this month. This month sun is in Virgo, so see which house is Virgo, and you have enough time before sun transits next month into Libra. So make use of this opportunity and add good punya, good karma, and manifold good karma by working in the direction of that house. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. And if you want me to discuss about a certain area of astrology, please put in the request in the comment section below. I will try and see if I can make a video around that if I feel it's a good topic and I can and I have something worthwhile to talk about the topic, if the topic has already not been discussed before. And so looking forward to your comments, looking forward to you sharing this video. Ciao.